So today I have the pleasure of sitting with Rekha from No.6 Cavendish.
Thanks for having me, Chloe.
No problem. And we're going to talk about her, a little bit more about Rekha herself and the store. So the generic question I'm going to ask you now, how did you end up sitting here today running the shop with your dad? Like, was it always something you were set out to do, or?
So my parents started the business 31 years ago.
Just before you were born?
Just before I was born. Thank you for reminding me. Just before I was born. So I've always been part of the business, sort of behind the scenes. And then, yeah, to be honest, I knew from sort of mid-teenager years I want to take it over.
Okay. From
my parents. At that point we didn't have a store in London, we just had our La Casa de Habano in Teddington.
Okay.
Then from you finishing uni, I went out and worked in events for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Joined the business during COVID.
Yeah.
Built the websites for both our stores. So we opened No.6 Cavendish in December 2019.
Wow.
Just before COVID.
Just before COVID. What luck that was.
Oh, yeah. It was timing.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Perfect.
So I'd say we properly opened May 2021, sort of looking past all the lockdowns. So yeah, we opened in December 2019, but non-stop business since May 21.
Wow. So when you say you went to uni, was it anything to do with?
I did geography.
So literally nothing to what you do
geography.
now.
Everyone like, why did you do geography? Because I enjoyed it.
Okay, fine.
I wanted to go to uni, do a subject I enjoyed.
A lot of people do that though. They go and get a degree in something and whatever, don't they? Yeah.
I was like, do you know what? I want to enjoy the 3 years of my life. I don't want to study business, which would, in hindsight, maybe help me take over. My parents didn't go to university, so
no, I didn't.
In my head, I was like, do you know what? I don't need to go to university to succeed in life.
No.
You don't need to.
I'm pleased you said that, because normally
you don't need to.
Yeah.
I understand obviously some careers require degrees, but I wanted to go to university. I wanted to experience that life, living out of home with friends. So I chose geography because I enjoyed it and had the best time.
Wow.
Made the best of friends. And
well, it's life experience, isn't it?
Exactly. It is a life experience. And I travelled a lot with geography. Went to China, which was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a highlight.
I think I've said before in one of these videos, I really want to go to Tokyo.
I'd love to go to Tokyo.
I'd love to go to Tokyo.
I want to go to Japan just for the food.
The food, and I like the tech, because I'm a bit of a nerd.
Yeah.
So I quite like the thought of, how they have like vending machines for everything. And like robots and stuff. Yeah, it's like a different world. So I'd love to go for that. Maybe you need like a cigar vending machine. That could be a thing.
That could be a thing.
Could be a thing. Could be quirky. So cool. You see yourself now, obviously, what is your title here officially?
So I'm the general manager of No.6.
General manager. Yeah. And you full-time?
Full-time at No.6. So I do a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Website development, emails. Then we have a bar at No.6 where we do pairings with.
I've just got the best mojito ever.
And I'm having our famous chocolate old fashioned.
Yeah, that does look very good.
I did say to myself, no alcohol during the weekdays.
Yeah, but it's a special event.
It's okay. It's a Saturday today.
It's a Saturday, yeah.
It's not Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, so full-time general manager No.6.
Yeah.
Your dad obviously is quite known in the industry now. Legend.
Yeah,
So like, has he taken a bit of a back seat since you've come more like into it, or not a back seat as such, but he's just, he's working behind the scenes and stuff?
I'm enabling him to smoke a lot more.
Yeah.
And I just say, look, just come to No.6 when you've got meetings with clients and enjoy what you've done, because my mum and dad they've worked tirelessly for 30 years to create what they've created now, and obviously I'm taking it over.
Yeah.
When obviously I'm taking over, I don't know, but I'm on that trajectory to take over the business.
Yeah.
But I want them both just to be able to enjoy what they've created now, take all the stress off them and modernise it.
Yeah.
So we do loads of events. We threw a massive event at Madison last year.
Massive party.
Which was a surreal experience. Like, I wish I could remember the whole night because there was so much adrenaline running through it.
And that was like, wasn't it an anniversary?
It was 30 years of business. Yeah, so we celebrated 30 years at Madison and we had 250 people.
Yeah, it looked incredible. From the outside, obviously I couldn't make it, but from the outside it was mad. It looked so good.
Cigar's gone out.
Good. Cut.
I was talking too much.
Yeah. So you say about doing events. How often do you do events?
So we do, obviously anniversary parties only come around.
On anniversaries.
Not that often. 30 years we
Sadly.
did 25th.
Can't you have a 31?
Everyone's like, when's the next party?
Have another party.
Well, we are 5 years next year,
Yeah.
but we don't know if we're going to do an event.
Okay.
We'll only do it if we can find the right venue. We're not just going to throw a party just for the sake of it. We want it to be a memorable experience. And we've got a massive cigar network all over the world, so a lot of people fly for when we do the big events. So what we did start at number 6 last year was Cigar Night at number 6.
You just ashed on yourself?
I ashed myself. This is going really well.
We'll keep these in. And then I believe it's just one video.
So what we do, we have Cigar Nights at number 6. We call it Cigar Night with AJ and Rekha. So what we'll do, we'll sell the tickets at a price. You don't know what you're having, you don't know what you're going to get. You just turn up at the event and it's a surprise. And we always create a unique cocktail to go with the chosen cigar.
I like that because I feel like there's still a bit of a stigma sometimes with brands or like regions with cigars, and you get people that want to stick to a certain region or a certain type of cigar or whatever.
For sure.
And you can sometimes see people that are advertising these amazing events, but one will be more supported than the other and vice versa. And I think by having that element of surprise, people are trying things that they may not normally try. And I always recommend to new cigar smokers, if there's cigar events near you, just go. And even if you go and, alright, some people might say it's a waste of money, but I think even if you went and don't enjoy the cigar as such, you're still meeting people, it's still networking, it's socialising, it's learning.
It's the culture around cigars. There's
Exactly,
so
it's
much
education.
to cigars than the cigar itself, right? It's education, you meet people you wouldn't cross paths with.
Exactly, you learn things. And
you have a great conversation and
that's it.
Even if you don't like the cigar you're smoking, you're going to have a good night regardless.
Well, I think it takes you, talking from personal experience, it takes you quite a lot of cigars, I would say, to work out your palate. I mean, people like us, we're kind of lucky in the way that we work in the industry, we try all these different cigars. You went on the tour, you got to try hundreds of cigars.
Which was amazing.
We'll come back to that. But, we're lucky because we can do that. But people that may only get to smoke at a weekend or at an event or something, it may take them longer to find their taste. So they may have like a really nice cigar from Hoya, let's say, smoke the Hoya Cabernet, love it. And then they think, oh, well, there's an event coming up for a brand they've never heard of, and they think, oh God, I don't know, but there's a Hoya event next month. They might wait and go to the Hoya one because they've learned that they like it. But in order, like in what you're doing, they'll turn up.
We don't shout out about what the brand is, because you will get people who, oh, I'm not coming to that one because I don't want to have a Cuban cigar. I'm not coming to that one because I don't want a New World cigar. It's putting people out of their comfort zone. And we've done events with vintage Cuban cigars, new Cuban cigars. We've done the New World cigars. We did Miracle, which no one in that room that night had a Miracle cigar before.
No.
And actually, that room was full of Cuban cigar smokers. So we were putting everyone out of their comfort zone. We were like, look, try this cigar, it's amazing. And everybody loved it. And they've all come back. A lot of people have come back. They've tried the whole range. And it's they even said to us, if I didn't come to that event, I probably wouldn't have
Well, no, because people get used to
try the new cigars.
And I'm a sucker for that. If I go to like a restaurant that I'm used to going to, get the same thing because you know you like it. You don't want to let yourself down, or you're worried you're going to spend money and then think, oh. So I think other companies and businesses outside of the cigar industry can learn from that in terms of drink, food. Like I said, people always order the same thing, but it's not until you sort of
the amount of times in the humidor when we get customers come in and they go, okay, I'll have this cigar. The first question I ask them was, have you had it before? If they say I'm like, well, why are you having the same cigar you've had? You know
try
what you're going to get. You've got a room full of thousands of cigars. Try something you haven't had. If you don't like it, okay, cross it off the list.
Fine.
Move on. But at least you've tried something you haven't had before.
I'm toying with the idea of I've got a new journal because I like stationery as well. God, I'm such a nerd. And I got this new journal the other day, and I've decided I'm going to start writing down what cigar I've had on what day, and some tasting notes about them. Obviously, I tend to smoke a lot of what's in Tor's portfolio because that's what I've got. I've got far too many cigars at home. It's like a really good problem that I think I'm going to start logging what I'm smoking and start finding my palate to work out what I kind of like. And it's weird because obviously I've worked in the cigar industry. I've been with Tor 3 years now, and I used to work for a cigar retailer about 6 years ago now, and that was for like 3 or 4 years. And even all the cigars I've had, it's only now, right, it was a bizarre moment in my life the other week, that I've just started to taste things that aren't tobacco. And that threw me. It
Yeah.
was so weird because obviously people know how much I smoke because I do the reviews and I go to events, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I always have whatever the cigar is at the event. And I was smoking the Hoya Cinco de Cinco when it came out a couple of months ago or a month or so ago.
Great cigar.
Great cigar. And I was smoking it for a review. And I was sat with someone who was smoking it as well. And I turned and looked at him and I was like, I can taste marzipan.
I wish I said that.
Could you taste it as well?
So not
Or
in that,
almond or Battenberg or something?
I haven't had it in that cigar, but it was the Paul Laniaga Picadores, and that was the first cigar I smoked where I could taste a marzipan.
What's that about?
And I had it in a cigar. I can't remember what. Went on a dog walk with my mum and dad over the weekend, and marzipan.
Yeah.
It's just that sweetness that comes out of the tobacco leaves.
But it's almondy, like
Yeah.
nutty.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
so
yeah.
bizarre, and that's the very first time, because I'm a sucker for every time I do a review. Obviously, there's tasting notes involved in. You get the generic tasting notes from either the manufacturer or someone that has decided it tastes
Everyone
like
finds different.
leather. You've got all them like buzzwords that
Yeah.
people use, and I'm always a sucker for saying like I can taste tobacco. And
Yeah.
like some of it's sweeter,
Yeah.
some of it's like earthier, stronger, whatever. It was the first time that I categorically can say I tasted something that wasn't tobacco, and I was thrown.
It's amazing.
I was so
Yeah.
thrown because
It's-
obviously my palate's now adjusting to like not getting numb to the tobacco taste, not that at all, but like it's picking up.
Your palate's evolved.
Yeah,
It's-
it was so weird, and yeah, I mean like people like yourself, you must. How often do you smoke a week, really?
3 a week maybe.
Okay.
Not a lot.
How do you
In
go
the
about
summer-
picking
in
your
the, in the
cigars?
summer, I will smoke more often because
yeah.
you can sit in the garden in the evening.
Of course,
have a cigar.
yeah. Classic British weather doesn't allow us to do that.
And I don't like walking in the park. Like my dad would always smoke a cigar on a dog walk, but when it's cold and windy, I just can't enjoy it.
No, because
so
it's
in my head, I'm like, why would I take?
well,
a
it's
cigar
about the
and not enjoy
atmosphere
it?
too, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the company,
The company is so important.
how you feel.
Yeah.
I know
If you've
obviously.
eaten as well, that's a
If
massive,
you've eaten,
massive
what
thing.
you're drinking with it.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. That like the environment in which you're smoking makes a difference to the cigar. I think.
It does.
So like you could have the same cigar from the same batch
Yeah.
that you could even ask if it's been rolled at the same time. But if you had one now while we're sitting here having a cigar and a drink
Yeah.
and we're chilled
Yeah.
and we're obviously in your beautiful lounge, or you could have it on the top of like a mountain in gale force winds or whatever, they're going to taste
They
different.
are going to taste different.
They're going to taste different.
Completely different, and that's why we spoke about this earlier. When someone asks you what your favourite cigar is, if you can find an answer to that, I find it hard to believe because a cigar tastes different where you're smoking it, who
Yeah.
you're smoking it with. We did the cigar night at No.6 last week. It was, and the cigar we did was one of the first regional cigars for Cuba, and it took my dad back to the first time he smoked that cigar when it came out. Cut.
We're not cutting that. Carry on.
Oh. Slow mo. It took my dad back to the time where he first smoked it, so it's creating a memory you can't forget.
Yeah. Obviously, you have preferred cigars, preferred brands.
Like, I remember the
Preferred
first
Vitola.
cigar I smoked, which was the Hoya Cavendish in Nicaragua. That was the first cigar I smoked on like the first full day.
Yeah.
Because we had one the night before for
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah.
And obviously in Miami, but
Yeah.
every cigar I smoked in Nicaragua, and I'll have it again in the lounge. I remember where I smoked it.
How was it smoking in Nicaragua? Did it enhance your experience because you'd
Yeah,
like spent the
massively.
day watching them make them, and you'd learnt more about the factory and the family and the passion and
Oh my god, the appreciation went from here to here. Like I appreciate cigars and I know how much hard work goes into making cigars. But being there with the rollers, the families,
Yeah.
in the environment, in the weather,
Yeah.
it's just you can't beat it.
That's one thing I love about obviously working for Tor and the brands we work with is that near enough all of them, I want to say all of them, but I don't want to say anything wrong, but near enough all of them are like family orientated and or have come from family or through
Yeah.
someone that works for a family. Do you know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
if they're an individual boutique brand, they have worked with a cigar family.
Yeah.
They've all got this heritage and family behind it and stories that are so unique. And obviously a lot of them have a lot of heritage from Cuba.
Yeah.
Where they've
They
had
do,
to,
which surprised me a lot. Like that was
Yeah.
one thing that really, took me back. But when we were speaking to a lot of the rollers and we found out they came from Cuba,
yeah.
that was wow.
Yeah, and ultimately sometimes it was in sad circumstances
Yeah.
that they had to find
Yeah.
somewhere else to do it, but it's still the tradition of making the cigars, but they have this story behind it. And I think what's nice about these companies is that they've been so passionate to create that, the effort they've gone through ultimately over generations to now come up with the brand, I think it makes it a whole new experience. That's why we do tours, is to show, but it's just because everyone can appreciate like the Sheraton or like whatever brand you like smoking, but to actually see it from the start to the finish. Yes, there's like factories all around the world doing stuff like that, but I think you get a glimpse of the family and the whole.
You become connected in a way, like
exactly. Yeah, you can say you've been to Hoy, you've been to wherever, and
I keep referring back to my father because I think that was one of my the best days in Nicaragua for me was getting toured around the factories by 3 generations. You
had it was like a celeb lineup, weren't it?
It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was. It was.
Pete Johnson was there and everything.
It was great, and I was just like, wow, they treat us like part of the family.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And even down to like me, when I speak to them direct, it's like, we work together. It's not I do this, you do that. They're very much like they would appreciate your time as much as you appreciate theirs. So it is it's a massive learning curve. I remember getting the photos through to like post and stuff, and I see like Pete, Janae, like all of them there, and I'm like, all right, they all came out that day.
we had the whole crowd.
It looked incredible.
It was really good.
So good.
It increased my love for New World Cigars. And as
why do you think we do it though? Do you see what I mean? I know it's not a sales pitch, but at the same time, we're
as
not
a business owner. I think it was like the stories I came back with to tell the team, and you connect with the brands a lot more.
Yeah,
like you do. Like every time I spoke of my father and Oliver, a Perdomo, a Hoya, and a Padron, like
you resort back, like you said, you resort back to the factory.
Remember what even Padron, I mean that day was unreal. Like I wish it was a full day. Yeah.
So talking about brands and companies within Nicaragua, Hoya, you were lucky enough to visit the factory.
That was the first factory I visited in Nicaragua, and it was a lovely day.
Yeah, well it's exciting because we have the trade show in May, Ignite trade show, which you're attending for the full weekend.
I wouldn't miss it.
Okay, good. Friday night,
of course,
the tour party night.
I love that night. I love it. It's barbecue, cigars. I mean, obviously, if it's different this year, I look forward to whatever.
Well, it's different in a good way, let me tell you. But I can't give too much away just yet.
Yeah,
different in a good way.
Very secretive.
But what I can say, which was a secret, but it's not now, is that Juan Martinez from Hoya will be joining us.
Amazing.
Which is just, I'm so excited because the first time I met Juan was last year, and I sat him down and done a really awkward video on purpose with him, and it was so funny because obviously people in my team know Juan.
Yeah.
But they never know him in like an awkward scenario. No one does. So I'm like, do you think Juan will be up for this? They were like, try it. Carlos was like, just try it.
Go for it. What's the
Go,
news?
because Carlos obviously knows Juan quite well. And anyway, I literally met him. They'd gone to get some food. I was a bit late. They were a bit late. Whatever. Shook his hand. Blah blah. Had a cup of tea. Blah blah. And I said, right, I'm going to give you an interview. He said, yeah. And I'm sure from the moment I said, right, it's recording, he thought I was going to say, so tell me a bit about Hoya de Nicaragua. And I didn't. I was like, so. Are you a nice person or whatever I asked him? I can't remember it. It was supposed to be awkward on purpose. So anything when you watch that, his awkwardness was authentic, and it was so funny because behind the camera was Scott.
Have to look at this.
Have you not seen it? Oh, it's so funny.
No.
I don't ask him anything about cigars. I just sit there and I'm like, Juan, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like.
He literally probably came prepped to talk about cigars.
Exactly that, but that's why I done it, and it was so funny. I was like, are you a nice person? He was like,
I think I am.
Yeah. So the awkwardness is genuine, and we got to the end, and he was like, what just happened? And I was like, yeah, nice to meet you, because I stayed in character.
Yeah.
It was so funny, but such a genuine guy. And I had
He's lovely.
Scott and the guys I filmed it at Farrant's, they were sat behind the camera. They were trying not to laugh because they could see he was just it was almost like he wanted to say what is going on here? Because he was so geared up to answer the generic questions that people like to ask him. But having said that, he will be at Ignite, so we can ask him all the generic questions. But
I'll make you feel awkward again.
Yeah, just ask him really awkward. Just ask him the questions that I asked him.
You let me know.
But yeah, I do really look forward to it. I love the trade show, and yeah, we've got some exciting things coming up, and it's always great to see everyone under one roof.
Yeah, and in a really relaxed environment.
Very relaxed. Work hard, play hard, though.
That's what Cigars is about.
Exactly that. So you're drinking an old fashioned?
I'm having Michter's bourbon chocolate old fashioned.
Is that your go-to?
It is my go-to at No.6. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I never used to like old fashions, but the boys at the bar, they're fantastic. I sort of leave them to it, to be honest. I'm like, let's create cocktails to go with.
That is some bar though.
Cocktails as well. And
it is some bar.
Yeah.
It's just so quirky. I filmed how they made my mojito.
Yeah.
And I drink mojito a lot and everywhere. You know, it can be like a really cheap nightclub, or it can like where they got 2-for-1 cocktails. You know, or it can be somewhere a bit more like upper class and bougie, like here. But just how they made it, like even how they presented it and how they made it was just incredible.
Yeah.
And they're so like, it's so quirky. Your bar and just having that here, to me, is like
we
a
want to create
unique.
something different, and all our signature cocktails and mocktails are all completely made from scratch. All our syrups and infusions,
Wow.
they're making. We're updating the menu, so we do like lychee infusions. They peppercorn, which is a Peruvian,
I had peppercorn last time I was here. Yeah,
it's a Peruvian
that was cool.
vegetable, which is literally peppercorn on the cob. But they infuse it with loads of fruits and create syrup. So yeah, it's such a unique bar, and you know, just
It's really
leave
cool.
into it, and we make amazing drinks.
So finally, anything exciting for the rest of the year?
I mean, I feel like the year's just getting started. You know?
I know, even though it's now
summer
April.
Summer is coming.
Yeah, I know.
Lots of events to look forward to here at No.6 and outside. So yeah, looking forward to that. Obviously, really looking forward to Ignite and just seeing everyone.
Yeah.
I just look forward to getting together with all the trade.
I know, I think we're all
Once a year,
desperate for summer, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because that's when the cigar world, for me, like the events and stuff, that's when it really opens up.
Oh, just like smoking outside.
It just-
you can't beat it. Like
You can't
I love sitting in. I love sitting in No.6 and like winding back and having a cigar. But obviously, because I work here at the same time, you know, you find it hard to just relax. Like right now, I feel like I'm really relaxing. I haven't got to think about what's going on outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to be at home in the garden, you know, enjoying cigars.
I think that's when we all come alive. And for now, it's really hard to say to people, what have you got for the rest of the year? We know we've got a jam-packed summer. But right now, we can't think about it until the sun comes out. Like it just, when the sun comes out, then you're like, oh my god, there's so much going on. Yeah. So that's cool. So where can people find your events if they're interested?
So yeah, just sign up to our newsletter, subscribe. I don't send out hundreds of newsletters. They're primarily for events and new releases. So yeah, just go on the website and scroll to the bottom, put your email address in and subscribe.
Nice. Well, thanks for today, Rekha.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to sit back and finish our Sheraton 160th anniversary.
Really enjoying this.
And I'm nearly at the bottom of my cocktail, so I should probably slow down.
Hurry up.
There's me saying slow down, you hurrying up. But yeah, it'd be good to catch up with you again soon.
For sure, we'll do it.